Okay, sorry if my voice sounds a bit different because I am sick. Like, mucus fucking everywhere. So, yeah. Welcome to the Amazing Character Awards. And in this video, we're gonna see who is the most favorite out of everyone at the end of this episode. So this episode is just titled They Get Guns, and so episode starts off with Jax and Pomni walking together. They find Zubul up in some weird ass place, and Zubul just gets questioned on why they're hiding. Zubul says it's because they don't like Kane, and whenever they skip out, Kane just knocks on their door, and whenever they don't answer, Kane just starts singing Daisy Bell. Jax calls over Kane. They decide to have an in-house adventure. Kane says that this adventure is going to be kind of short because he wants to focus on the favorite character awards as well as giving them something to do. Kane recommends some abhorrently stupid sports that he came up out of the depths of his mind, and not many people even like that. So Zubul, after complaining that they can't trust Jax for jack shit, makes sense because, you know, no one can. He's been known to literally throw people off of moving cars for fun. So, Kane suggests a rather elaborate trust building exercise and gives Jax a gun. Jax, who wasn't paying any attention to this, just says, hey, what we're doing, and then Kane just shoves some information in his mind, and after realizing what he's supposed to do, he shoots Ragatha. Kane just says they're gonna do a team thing again, cause why not? So, teams of 2, and they get 5 minutes to pick, and also the guns get scattered everywhere. At first, Jax wants to be in a team with Gangle, but Gangle says that they want to be in a team with Zubul. Pomni was thinking a team with Kinger, but Ragatha says that they want to do with Kinger so that then they could keep Jax away from him. Pomni says, sure, I think I'll be able to keep Jax, the crazy ass idiot, under control for one day. When the timer ends, Ragatha still has a life lost from when Jax tried to ice her, and so Ragatha and Kinger are off trying to find weapons. Ragatha is a bit bummed at not having a full 3 hearts. Kinger just claps his hands and creates a monarch butterfly, and Ragatha is told to touch it, and that brings their lives back up. So with Jax and Pomni, Pomni doesn't really want to really engage in the fighting, just says, I'll grab you some guns. But Jax says, no, just have fun, like you're playing this too realistically. Like, this is a game, it doesn't matter if your friends get hurt because no one's gonna die. And so this is enough to convince Pomni to just let loose. Back with Kinger and Ragatha, Kinger gets sniped by Zubul. Jax finds a gun for himself, so now both Pomni and Jax are armed. Pomni and Jax shoot Ragatha, taking out one of her lives. Jax goes to deal with Ragatha, and Pomni tries to deal with Kinger. Jax manages to get Ragatha down to 1 life, and then they go into this, like, closed off space, and right as Jax is about to ice Ragatha, Ragatha says that she knows what he's doing and that he's trying to corrupt Pomni. He seems, like, genuinely confused because he just sees this as a game, so he's actually confused. Ragatha, after getting fully killed, gets shoved into the loser's corner. Pomni meets up with Jax and just says that Kinger got away. Zubul finds a gun for Gangle, and we also have this personal moment with Gangle saying how she feels like a toy for Jax, and how she kind of feels like in that, like, she has no control over her life. But Zubul just says, dude, you're your own self basically, and you're fine. That's like the best way I could summarize it. Back with Pomni and Jax, we learn that Jax for sure has trypophobia. They find Kinger in a dark room, and they have a 2v1, but they manage to kill Kinger. So he gets shoved into the loser's corner, and he sees Ragatha, and he decides to talk to her he sees Ragatha and decides to talk to her for a bit, and at this point he's been in the darkness for sufficiently long enough point, so he's back to his normal self, and he actually has this, like, conversation to where just saying, Ragatha, you're trying too hard, you're doing too much for others, you're putting too much pressure on yourself, and this makes Ragatha tear up and actually smile for a bit. Cut to Gangle and Zubul, and they are running inside this weird tunnel together. They're running away from the other two. Gangle finds a Tommy gun and decides to open fire in an enclosed space. This tears down the connecting structures and makes all of them fall down. At this point, the other two have no ammo left, but they managed to find a sniper, and Pomni, who had one sniper around in there, takes it and headshots Gangle, which just sends her to the loser's corner. Zuba decides to retreat into her room. She attaches 2 extra arms to herself and also finds just a stockpile of stun grenades. Pomni and Jax decide to sing Daisy Bell, and this just annoys Zubul. When they're done singing, Zubul comes out, stuns them, and takes out 2 hearts from them, so now they're both down to their last life. When Pomni is running off, Jax says, "No, wait." We see him actually giving like some concern to Pomni. Pomni rushes away. We see this like scene of Jax looking at Kaufmo and not really wanted to think about it anymore, and also looking at Ribbit and also just like adjusting back to normal, and then going towards Pomni. Pomni does a funny with a gun and disarms Zubul and also gets her to the ground. Pomni and Jax decide to kill Zubul. Jax and Pomni have this weird emotional moment that I'm not going to tell you most of it about, because if you really care, just watch the episode. But Pomni confronts Jax on why he didn't even show up to Kaufmo's funeral, and says that he was scared to actually show any human emotion. Jax gets upset about this and just says, "Why are you blaming me? You didn't even know him, just like everyone else. Why are you blaming me?" And then basically he walks off. And now it is time for the award ceremony. Everyone is sitting together in the front row except for Jax, who decided to isolate himself. And right as the characters were, like, whoever won was going to be announced, Jax decides to go into the bathroom because his heart was racing and he was thinking about something. And then he comes back with an adjusted attitude, acting like he actually fully has regained his composure, but we know that no way in hell someone can adapt that fast. And that is the end of this video. I hope you guys really like this one, because I hate doing things like this when I'm sick. I hate working when I'm sick, and I do this for you guys, okay? So enjoy my videos. And next episode is going to be even more eventful than this one, so I hope you enjoy.